Morning everybody, Calm Biker here. Just on a quick Sunday ride with Mrs. C on the back, trying out a new helmet. A swanky new helmet. I think mainly because she wants to turn her old one into a plant pot, which is an unusual use for a helmet, but she can be unusual. She stuck with me this long. And I'm trying out my new helmet in a way as well. Trying to get the sound right. It's been irritating me for a long time now, trying to get this sound right. So I'm trying my microphone in yet another position. I thought I'd try it out, record a bit of a vlog. Once we get past these lights I'll start, because sitting here talking, not visually very stimulating. So I wanted to talk today about artificial intelligence. Not a technical discussion by any means, but related to something that I was chatting with a colleague about the other day. He's been reading a book that's quite interesting about AI and the idea of machines that are more intelligent than people, which, judging by the state of some people's driving, well, that's a lot of diesel, some people's driving, that won't be too hard. But he's reading this book and it was saying, what would happen if we achieve what people are trying to achieve, of machines that are cleverer than people, if they become self-aware, which again potentially people are trying to do. And it had kind of three scenarios, all three of which were not particularly good for us. The first scenario is that it doesn't care about us, we're just something that's there, which might be the best scenario in a way, because kind of just leave us be, not see us as a threat, not see us as a good thing, just like certain insects are to us, maybe ladybirds. You know, we don't go out of our way to kill them or help them or preserve them, they're just there. And unfortunately that means that the human race being what it is, they could easily be put at risk because they need something that we need. So we're forever destroying the habitat of creatures. If the ladybird habitat becomes something we want, we would take it without a second thought. And perhaps the super intelligent machine wanted to keep itself alive, probably the wrong word, but you know what I mean, would just take the resources we need. Maybe it would decide it needed all of the carbon or all of the oxygen, and maybe it would see us as just some carbon, kind of matrix-like, isn't it? It could just use us for fuel or for building materials. But in the end we could be in trouble in that kind of scenario. Another scenario is that it sees us as a threat, or it hates us, at which point it could do what human beings do when they see threats, and try and destroy us. And of course, being more intelligent than us, it probably could destroy us quite easily. Generally speaking, when an intelligent species or intelligent race encounters in history a less intelligent one, the less intelligent one, if disliked, usually comes off worse. Less intelligent may be the wrong word. In the case of humans, less technologically advanced perhaps. And it could really like us and want to keep us alive, really want to preserve us. But that could be bad too, because it would probably see us as a threat to each other, because we really are. So it might decide to preserve us in the computer AI equivalent of a zoo. So it might be that it just keeps a few of us and locks us up in boxes. Now a lot of people say it's not really a threat because we could contain it, but we struggle to keep people out of websites that we don't want them in, with hackers and whatnot. Now if we can't keep humans out, how are we supposed to keep out something that's more intelligent than a human? How do we stop that thing if we think we've contained it from spreading? Anyway, to be honest, I'm not going to worry about it. There's not a lot I can do about it anyway, but I'm not going to worry about it. But there is something about AI that's starting to give me a few concerns. And it's the technology that is available right now is under development right now, and the stuff that's probably going to be around in 5 to 10 years, maybe 20 at the outside. And it's not that the technology itself is scary, but the impact it'll have on society, particularly the impact on jobs. And a lot of people say, in response to that one, well, you know, people will move into different types of jobs. We're actually getting to a point now with the technology where the technology can replace those more cerebral jobs that people thought in previous revolutions to technology people would move to. So for example, on that kind of very technical, cerebral side of things, there's now a piece of software that you can run on a smartphone that's obviously not running on the smartphone, but it's talking to that there internet and systems on the internet, where you can put in symptoms of an illness that you have, and it will diagnose you, and it diagnoses currently as accurately as a GP, a doctor, your family doctor. And over time, and with more data to learn from, the chances are it will become better than your local doctor at diagnosing ailments. So if you think people are moving into those kind of areas, I don't know, I think they might go as well. The big worries though are not the ones replacing doctors, because there's not that many doctors in the grand scheme of things. The big ones for me are the ones that replace thousands, tens of thousands or hundreds of thousands, maybe even millions of jobs that leave us with mass unemployment as a huge social problem to deal with. And the most obvious one of those probably is the self-driving car. Self-driving vehicles. There are already self-driving vehicles on our roads in test situations. There are already self-driving vehicles in very limited situations, and there are already self-driving vehicles in other countries in use. And the implications for jobs are huge. And the implication in society of losing all those jobs is huge. Because if you think of self-driving vehicles, potentially every truck driver, every van driver, everybody who drives for a living would no longer be needed. And that's, in Britain alone, that's, you know, over 1 million people potentially whose jobs could just go by the wayside. And how you would fill them again very quickly, I don't know. I mean, right now, when huge numbers of jobs go, they tend to look for people in getting them into call centres and that kind of thing. But call centres are another one that's already being replaced by technology. I keep getting calls from people trying to sell me insurance or get me to change my electricity supplier, where the call starts with "Good morning, Richard, how are you?" all that kind of thing. There's kind of normal things you'd expect a person to say, but it's not a person saying it, it's completely automated. So it's actually listening to what you say and responding. And right now you can tell, you know, it only takes 30 seconds to realise you're not talking to a person. But in time, as the AI gets better, it'll be getting harder and harder to distinguish. So it's another one where, you know, there are hundreds of thousands, if not millions of people in this country that are working in call centres that could potentially just go. The jobs could just vanish. It's a bit like what's happening with supermarkets right now, where the manned till, we're probably not allowed to say manned anymore in this country, the till operated by a person is gradually decreasing in number, and they're replacing a couple of tills with 4 self-service checkouts. And despite the fact that the theft rate from those is much higher than it would otherwise be, it works out in the end because the till costs less than a person to run, to employ, if you like. Goes wrong less, doesn't need holidays, doesn't need time off, doesn't need lunch breaks. So potentially, from the point of view of the employer who has to pay for all this thing and wants to make more money, the machine is a better bet than the person. Slightly worrying, I think. Don't know, what do you think? let me know in them there comments if this video makes it onto YouTube, because of course the sound might be awful. Anyway, thanks for watching everyone, ride safe, and I'll talk to you all again soon.